Remember 2016, when investors were fired up first by the success of Pokemon Go, before finding out the game and IP are not fully owned by Nintendo, and then dropped Nintendo stock like a hot potato? These were fun times, but who actually owns the Pokemon company? So this is what this video is about. But first, a quick self-introduction. Hi, everybody. This is Dr. Toto speaking. I'm a game industry consultant, primarily based in Singapore and Tokyo, with around 15 years of professional experience in the business. What you can see on the screen is the website of my consulting agency. And you can follow me online under the links that I put in the video description. And very important, this video is purely educational and not financial advice in any way. The one-sentence summary is that the aptly named The Pokemon Company owns Pokemon. But as everybody who watches this knows, Pokemon is a sprawling empire. So Wikipedia says the Pokemon Company is a Japanese company responsible for brand management, production, publishing, marketing, and licensing of the Pokemon franchise, which consists of video games, a trading card game, anime television series, films, manga, home entertainment products, merchandise, and other ventures. It was established through a joint investment by the three companies holding the copyright and trademark of Pokemon, Nintendo, Game Freak, and Creatures, to focus in the multimedia franchise, which became too big to be managed only by them. As a few additional tidbits, the Pokemon Company today roughly employs 500 people across the world as of the recording of this video. And it is a private company, so they are not publicly traded, and they consist of several subsidiaries. And they have a overview of these subsidiaries on their own official website. The biggest one is the Pokemon Company International, and then they have offices in Korea and Singapore and in other places. And what I personally find the most interesting one is a company called the Millennium Print Group that actually prints Pokemon related products, and that is based out of North Carolina in the United States and out of the Netherlands. So now the question is, who owns what part of the Pokemon Company? And in this context, the only part of ownership ever confirmed publicly is the 32% of voting rights in the Pokemon Company controlled by Nintendo. And what you can see here is Nintendo's latest annual report where they disclosed this stake. And they've been actually showing this percentage in various financial reports over the years. So it's not really a big secret or anything. So the remaining 68% are, as mentioned earlier, controlled by Game Freak and Creatures. And here, the exact split between these two entities actually remains unknown. But over the last couple of years, my understanding has become that the splits between these two companies and Nintendo in the Pokemon Company are relatively even. And Game Freak is mainly behind the development of the Pokemon video games, whereas Creatures takes care of that ridiculously successful Pokemon trading card game, Pokemon toys. They do the models inside the Pokemon games, etc., etc. And in this context, another interesting factoid is that in 2016, CLSA, the investment bank, wrote in a report that they heard that Nintendo additionally owns 10% in Creatures. But mind you, this has never been officially confirmed or denied by any of the companies involved. And another fun factoid, I believe, is what I wrote down earlier, like in 2021. In 2001, an American entertainment company called 4Kids acquired 3% of the Pokemon Company in Japan. In 2005, they sold the stake for $960,000 US. You read that right. And finally, I would like to get very briefly into the financials of the Pokemon Company, which is a kind of different topic that I may cover in another video later, but which I also wanted to touch upon very quickly because there's a lot of rubbish floating around online about sales and profits and other financial numbers for the Pokemon brand. But just to focus on the facts, the only official financial numbers we do have come from the Japanese government's official gazette, called Campo. And I translated here the latest set of financial numbers for the Pokemon Company on my website, serkantoto.com, earlier this month in June 2025. And according to the Japanese government's official gazette, the Pokemon Company reached net sales of $2.9 billion last fiscal year, ending in February 28, 2025, whereas operating profit reached $700 million in the same time frame. And this is all about Pokemon for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.